and give your family added comfort. The great thing is that acesolvesitall.com is on call 7 to 7, 7 days a week at no extra charge.
For a limited time, mention WOCA and get a special discount.
Call 877-765-4ACE or acesolvesitall.com.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Thank you for tuning in. You're going to like this next one. S.C. Gwynne is on the phone, and he told Robin we can call him Sam, so Sam Gwynne is on the phone. But if you're looking for his book, he goes by S.C. Gwynne, and he's written a book called The Perfect Pass, American Genius and the Reinvention of Football, and it's about Hal Mumm. For those football fans out there, you probably know who I'm talking about. Sam is a New York Times bestselling author, a finalist in the Pulitzer Prize, an award-winning journalist. He worked as bureau chief, national correspondent, and senior editor for Time magazine. He's a contributor to the New York Times, the LA Times, the Morning News, Harper's, California Magazine. So what an honor to have him on AM Ocala Live this morning with Robin and I. Again, his book is called The Perfect Pass, American Genius and the Reinvention of Football. And wait till you hear this story. And I had never heard this story before. Maybe that's why he wrote the book. Mm-hmm. So the guys like me would hear a story like this. I love it because it's it says something beyond sports too, by the way.
Yes.
It says something about thinking and applying, smart ideas. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Hey, Larry. I'm great.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin. All right. How's the weather there today?
It is absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. It's going to be like 80 with no humidity, so we're real happy about that.
Yeah, it's that no
humidity.
humidity.
We're not Los Angeles.
It's that no humidity part that we're jealous of because we've got a little too much humidity here.
Yeah, well, we're on about the same latitude, kind of, I think. Anyway.
Is writing a book about sports something that you have done before?
No, I never have, and I'm a historian. The last two books where I wrote Empire of the Summer Moon about the Comanches and kind of a history of the Native American Southwest, and then a big biography of Stonewall Jackson, the Confederate general, and now we come to Hal Mumme, and people go like, well, wait a second, what's Hal Mumme doing there with Stonewall? And the answer to that question is that I like to write about transformation, and this guy, if you turn on the TV today, you're seeing a football game, particularly college, where people are, throwing the ball 48 times for 520 yards and 5 touchdowns. That game didn't exist quarter century ago at all. And the guy who kind of brought it to you more than anyone else is this guy, Hal Mumme. And he started at a school with 450 kids in Iowa, a tiny little college. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And I've already been corrected on the pronunciation of his name.
Well, I see. If you just look at it, it's M-U-M-M-E. It looks like Mum.
Yeah.
It's just that he pronounces it Mummy.
And I actually, in my mind, I'm thinking it's either going to be Mum or Mummy. I've got a choice. It's like when you plug a plug into an outlet. It's going to be one way or the other. It's always the wrong way first. It's always the wrong way. Okay, so far you said. I remember what it was. I remember 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how. It's easy if you're 61 years old to remember 25 years ago. So I wonder how many people recognized the change and how did a college? Let me ask you to start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I don't think it'll spoil the book, though, if you tell a little bit of it.
No, I don't think it will. But yeah, to go back to your point that you made just a second ago, 25 years, it's very interesting because no one has really marked this change. The sport of football has undergone a complete revolution here, essentially from a ground-dominant game, a running game, to a passing game, which changed all the parameters of the game itself. And I'll just give you one statistic, and then we'll talk about the origins. So before Hal introduced this ultra-high-speed pass-crazy offense in Iowa, the plains of Iowa, in 1991. Only 5 NCAA quarterbacks had ever thrown for more than 10,000 yards, ever, in the history of the game. Only 5. Since then, 90 have done it. So it gives you a sense of what has happened to the game. The game I mean, if you another statistic is of the 92 quarterbacks now to date who have thrown for more than 4,000 yards in a season, like 80 have done it in the last 12 years. The game has changed, and so so when we look at what he's doing, what he's actually doing is transforming the game itself. It all starts in this. Well, most of it starts in this little tiny college, Iowa Wesleyan, 450 students. 1989. Interestingly, Hal shows up there to coach this team, which is arguably the worst team in America.
Okay.
In fact, they don't even have any players when he shows. They have one player.
Oh, no.
And with the worst facility, you should see the facilities. They're still terrible. The worst facilities you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
And this guy shows up there, and weirdly enough, in all of football history, there are only really a handful of offensive geniuses. There aren't that many, maybe a little more than a handful. There just aren't that many. And miraculously, two of them show up at Iowa Wesleyan in 1989. One is Hal Mumme, and the other is his little junior assistant, a guy named Mike Leach, who had a law degree and nothing more, and had never played football in college. And these two guys show up. Leach, of course, goes on to become, one of the current masters of the past. He's at Washington State now, but he made himself famous at Texas Tech. Anyway, and these guys show up there, and the book is really about, what Hal wanted to do was design a system that would kind of trump everything else. If you had a system good enough, you could win. You could take little guys and beat big guys. You could take slow guys and beat fast guys. His quarterbacks were small and had weak arms and weren't fast. And still, they lit up everybody. So that was kind of what was going on, and that's when it happened.
So what you're saying is that a coach can truly make all the difference. I mean, we pay a lot of attention to coaches, but we also pay a lot of attention to players. So did the players become better? Because you've already said they weren't good players, but did they become better because of the boost to their ego that the scientific approach that Mumme made? I mean, did they actually become better players as a result of this?
Oh, they did. Part of this is allowing your players to play well, and Hal did that. It was actually an amazing system, and it was like anti-football. For example, he played at high speed. His team had 85 to 100 plays per game. The average team only ran 60, so there was at least a quarter, if not a full half more for his offense than the other team. He hardly ever punted on fourth down, so his team played a 4-down game, 4 chances to get a first down. Other team played a 3-down game. You just saw the way that the other team wanted to play in the middle of the field, and these guys stretched out the offensive line across the field and played a different game. But more than anything else, what he did was he radically simplified the game in a way that was incredibly simple for his guys. This gets to your question here. How can a slower, weaker, smaller player beat a bigger, stronger player? His game was so dead simple and easy for his guys that, as Darrell Royal once said famously, a confused player can't play fast, and you can take that to the bank. These guys were playing a different game. At one point, two or three running plays, 6.
Well, that is
six
genius.
Passing plays. No playbook, just a handful of plays. And what happened was that his guys would rep those plays over and over again, practice those, because there were only a few of them. So during the week, they just do them over and over.
Okay. So they became familiar with the routine. So what I don't understand about this, and so far I'm getting it, and I see why you're referring to him as a genius. I can see that. And gosh, nothing would ever take that away. But I'm wondering how it still has an effect when other people are probably copying it by this point.
Now they are. I mean, now the air raid, which is what this offense is called, is swept through American football on all levels. It's beginning to dominate high school football in Texas. Virtually the entire Big 12 is an air raid conference or air raid based. I mean, this is absolutely swept through American football. So nowadays, yes, all sorts of people have copied it. Back then, nobody understood how it worked because they thought he had a huge, big, fat, thick playbook with all kinds of voodoo stuff going on. He didn't. He just had a few plays. He convinced them that he had a big, fat voodoo playbook.
Is he one of those names that is not common knowledge? And forgive me for not knowing because I'm not really a sports guy. But is he
He's not. He's inside football, inside the game of football. You ask coaches about, everybody knows who he is. The general fan does not know who he is. And in fact, when I talk in my book about how in August 31, 1991, Iowa Wesleyan played Northeast Missouri State and the game of football changed, among other things, Hal invented the high-speed hurry-up offense in the modern era. Nobody marked that. Nobody wrote about it. Nobody knows that's when things changed. Most people don't know who he is. It's a revolution that essentially passed unseen.
Okay, so when we come back from the break, I want to ask you how it came to your attention, and now you're bringing it to the attention of the whole world.
Okay.
I have, by the way, on the video that we're streaming, I put the cover of the book. Again, if you go to the WOCA.com, you can click on the thing and listen and watch. But you're not going to see anything other than the cover of the book. It's called The Perfect Pass, S.C. Gwynne, Guyne. We're talking about... What's up? I'm sorry?
Gwynne.
Gwynne. I said it wrong. I was looking right at it and I said it wrong. Okay. Coach Hal Mumme is kind of the focal point of this whole book and of this conversation. And if you've been listening and you're a football fan, you're probably saying, yeah, I know this guy. Or maybe you're saying, no, I never heard of this guy. We'll be right back with Sam Gwynne on the other side of the break. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sun on this Wednesday with a thunderstorm around this afternoon, the high 85 to 89. And partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 71 to 75. More clouds and sun on Thursday with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 85 to 89. Friday, intervals of clouds and sun, still a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey everybody, did you know that there is a black bear sanctuary right here in the Ocala National Forest? While FWC has postponed the bear hunt this year, there are still perils that these magnificent creatures face. Forest Animal Rescue is finishing their state-of-the-art sanctuary on 80 acres in the Ocala National Forest. The last phase of construction is the on-site clinic to help with bear cub rehabilitation and release. Forest Animal Rescue is a 501c3. Your contribution is entirely tax-deductible. Visit forestanimalrescue.org.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Men who kiss their wives every morning before work, they lived 5 years longer and earned 25% more than men who were less affectionate. Women with at least 10 close friends were 4 times less likely to die from cancer than those who had no close friends. What's the germiest thing in most kitchens? Well, surprisingly, it's not the kitchen sink because it gets cleaned regularly. What we really need to worry about is the fridge.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking to S.C. Gwynne. The Perfect Pass is his book. He told us we could address him as Sam, so we will do that. I went to the Simon & Schuster website, and it has a 5-star rating based on 14 ratings, 5 reviews on Goodreads.com. Sounds like you've you know, and I think this is going to be interesting to even the non-sports person. I just like the ingenuity of what this is about, Sam.
Well, it's and people have noticed that, and it's one of the things I wanted to try to capture. This is about innovation and ingenuity and tinkering, and when you think of like Jobs and Wozniak, tinkering in the garage, or inventing the Apple computer, or Hewlett and Packard, or any of these people, there was a bit of that. This was tinkering with a very old and really conservative system that didn't want to do this. And he played with it, and what's interesting is that the X's and O's are actually, some of the things I was talking about earlier, the speed of the game and the space, the way he used space, were those happen before you even get to the X's and O's. But yeah, it's all about American innovation, ingenuity. It's cool. It's great.
So,
And
go ahead.
and it goes beyond the plays. I mean, you talk about how he had to recruit players, and there were 2 players that he wanted to come onto the campus. He only had money for one, but he found a way to get money for both of them to attend through scholarships. But it was the dilemma of how he could bring those 2 to the campus to check it out and everything to see if that's where they wanted to be.
Yeah, one of the really fun stories, as you mentioned here, is how he gets to Iowa Wesleyan, again, the school of 450 kids. Everyone on the football team has now quit. So he in the spring now, he needs to come up with a team, for the fall, and he doesn't have one. So he goes out and he uses all these ingenious ways and gets someone to lend him a plane so that he can fly recruits. And his total scholarship budget is $12,000. And he does this brilliant job of recruiting. A lot of the kids came from Texas because that's where he coached high school. But suddenly he's got this ragtag bunch of people, some of whom are felons, showing up in August to practice. And it's this team that he's got to put together, and which he turns into, this record-setting offensive machine.
Is there a film or a video of the first game in which he used the air raid technique, and is the other team completely like, what the heck is this magic? I mean, I'm guessing at the first time it happened, it was stunning to everybody, spectators and the other team included.
Do I have the first game at Iowa Wesleyan? I don't think I do. I don't, but what I do write about though is one of the things that Hal did was he was the first one to take what we would consider a 2-minute offense, right? When you run at super high speed for the last 2 minutes of the game because you're out of time and out of timeouts, and you run a play like every 12 or 14, 15 seconds. Hal applied that to the whole game, which changed the game of football. And you can turn on your TV now, you're just going to see it wherever you turn it on. It's called the high-speed, hurry-up, no huddle game. And this I mean, in August 31, 1991 against Northeast Missouri, he unveiled that for the first time. And so Northeast Missouri was looking, and I do not have tape of that game, or I have some tape. It's hard to see though. There are 5 to 6 foot splits between the linemen. Literally, imagine that, 5 or 6 feet between the linemen. He's running 85 plays to the other team's 60. He's throwing the ball all over the field. He's going for it on fourth down. It's just it's the wide open, crazy passing offense that you now often see on TV. But it would have been nice to have full tape of the Missouri game. I've got a little bit of it. It's hard to see though when you because on football you can only see what's on screen there.
Yeah, it's not like today with the video we have today. So tell me about how did you become aware of this? Did you know somebody, one of the players, or did and is Hal still around?
Yeah, Hal is still around. He's coaching at Belhaven University in Jackson, Mississippi. He's turning around another small football team, which he's done several times before.
So does he? Gosh, I have so many questions about this. Does he feel like he contributed something great, or does he not realize it?
Oh no, he does. So I should give you a thumbnail of Hal. So Hal at Iowa Wesleyan eventually lights up the equivalent of Division III or NAIA, small-time college football, right, that they set all the records. Then he goes to Valdosta State in Georgia, Division II, much bigger-time football, and he lights up the Gulf South Conference and sets all the NCAA Division II passing records with his quarterbacks. He is rewarded for that with the job at Kentucky, the SEC, 1997. People say you may have been able to succeed with this wide open passing offense, these other little places, but it's never going to work in the SEC. You cannot be done. Your quarterback's going to die. Our cornerbacks are too fast. Hal beats Alabama and beats LSU. And that is when most analysts believe the game changed, because nobody believed you could really do this, that it would transfer like that. Hal proved that it could. Where his career took a right angle turn in the wrong way, is he ran into a bad recruiting scandal when he was head coach at Kentucky. It was not his fault. He was 100% exonerated a year later by the NCAA, but it didn't prevent him from getting fired. One of his guys was out, making cash payments to high school coaches. He didn't know about it. But why isn't he coach of the Green Bay Packers now? Well, I think that's one part of the reason that what happened to him at Kentucky.
My goodness. In the book, a Sports Illustrated reporter asks him about what he does differently, and he tells them, let me see, I say, quote, look, all you have to do are these three things. This is what he says to his offensive lineman. He says, you just have to lift, jump rope, and eat. That's it. That's it. All the other things that you normally associate with preparing for a game. I mean, was he serious? Is that or?
Yeah. This totally shocked everybody in the Southeast, which is of course hardcore football. He went in short practices, really light hitting. They would often not even wear very much equipment. No wind sprints. Light hitting, short practices. People in Georgia went, you got to be out of your mind, man. Football is all about sprinting till you throw up. That's what we do here. Hal was, Hal had this different system, and people loved it. It was the kids had fun actually, and they had fun at practice too. Although if you watch an air raid practice, it's amazing. There's nobody sitting around. I say in the book, it's like landing on an island somewhere where all people know how to do is throw and catch balls. It's just like all these people running around throwing and catching balls, and all these drills he has them doing.
So I don't know if
totally
this is
exotic.
Forgive me if this is a dumb question, but does the way he how do you say devises the game? Does he? I don't even know how to even ask the question. But anyway, are head injuries fewer because of the way he plays the game? Or has
Absolutely,
the game
because when he first started doing that, in fact, he was at a high school with the light practices and the light hitting. He would go to parents and he'd say, "I want you come have your kid play for me because here's the deal: if he gets hurt, it's going to be in a game. Your kid's not going to get hurt at practice," which of course decreases the chance of injury hugely. Because he's not, because we're not going to be putting him in jeopardy during practice. The NFL has done this for a long time because they only got 45 guys and they got to protect the golden geese. But yeah, no, it was a good thing as far as concussions go.
Was he also involved in the defensive end of the team, or did he have a separate coach for that?
He is a total offensive coach. Doesn't want anything to do with defense. Thinks defense is an annoyance. Always hires someone, presumably the best guy he can, to go do it. He is the head coach and offensive coordinator, and that is, these great air raid coaches. Well, Mike Leach is another one. Defense, and as such, defense is often their weakness because so much of the emphasis is on the offense.
Coach Hal Mumme is the subject of the book that we're talking about. The book is called The Perfect Pass. It's written by our guest, S.C. Gwynne, and I found it on the publisher's website, which is SimonandSchuster.com. I'm guessing it's everywhere books are sold, correct?
Yeah, it's out there, yep.
When did it come out?
Like 7 days ago, so we're just in the first wave here of stuff, but all the early reviews are great, and we're hoping for the best.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing really well. You're getting a lot of nice comments and feedback. I have a copy of the book. I'd like to give it away to a listener. If you would call me right now and tell us your name, we'll leave it here for you. The rest of us have to go buy it. Again, it's everywhere books are sold, and this you are speaking to the right audience right now. This is a football-loving audience.
Yeah.
I can imagine, yeah. No, and the timing. Obviously the timing is deliberate here. You want the book to come out during the football season. So.
Is he your hero or one of your heroes?
I have a tremendous admiration for him coming out of spending all this time doing the book. He's a remarkable man, and he's one of these coaches who's in touch with 80% of his players. He's got a giant Rolodex. They all know each other and his coaches, and he's very well thought of.
Wow. Let me give this one away. Good morning. You want the book?
Yes, this is Grady.
Okay, Grady, you've got it. It'll be waiting for you here at the station.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think it's going to go fast. You have a trip to Hawaii soon coming your way, or wherever you want to go. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for being on today. I could tell your excitement about this. I would love to have you on for other books. It's obviously you dig yourself into a topic, and that's I think my favorite part of this whole conversation.
Yeah, I right. You can tell I get passionate about it. It's you know, it's football. It's not the Syrian refugee crisis, but it's a fun look at human systems, I think, and I really like that.
But somebody who could think out of the box, like Mummy, regarding, I mean, can you imagine the Syrian refugee crisis if somebody could somehow come up with a better play?
Yeah.
Right?
It's what we need.
I mean, it's maybe a little bit delusional to think that, but you never know. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for being with us. We will take a break and be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. No one's ever owned up to the downing of Malaysia Air Flight 17 more than 2 years ago. Now the findings of a Dutch probe released.
Investigators saying they have solid evidence that the plane was shot down by a missile that had been brought in from Russia and that the missile launcher